Hello, and welcome to the Evolve and Elevate podcast. I am Jacob Fry, your show host and humble servant. I have an unwavering belief that no matter where you are, who you are, what you have, or what the story of your past may hold, you have the ability and inner strength to design and realize your best self tomorrow, if only you will put in the effort today. Welcome back to the E&E podcast. Our focus this week is on two of my favorite words, grit and discipline. Grit is defined as courage and resolve. Strength of character. Discipline has several definitions, one great one being to train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what these variables are, that being grit and discipline, and what they are not. I have no doubt you know exactly what the lack of discipline looks like. Have you ever met an individual who claims they don't have enough time and wish there were more hours in the day to do the things that help them grow? This same individual just so happens to be binging a Netflix show while wishing for more time in the day. There will never be more time, more hours in the day, no matter how hard one wishes for it. Instead of wishing for more hours, and wishing, by the way, is a terrible strategy, instead of wishing for more hours, we must take action to prioritize and use the hours that have been given to us. So, what it'll be, Netflix or greatness? This decision says a lot about the individual's discipline or lack thereof. So, we have your attention and you've turned off the television and decided to be productive. You stay productive for a few days, but you don't have the grit. You don't have the grit to stay for the long game and you burn out because you can't see the end result yet. It is important to understand that change doesn't happen overnight. Have you ever watched a weight loss infomercial with the insane before and after pictures? What the heck happened between those images? They don't share the enormous struggle and discipline required to create that transformation. That's where the focus should be, on the transformational gap. The change in lifestyle and habits for a strong, disciplined life. It's not a quick fix, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. A great phrase to use to put this into perspective is simply, short-term pleasure leads to long-term pain. Short-term pain leads to long-term pleasure. Others have stated it a little differently, such as, if you will do today what others will not, you can live a life tomorrow others cannot. Or, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. They are all sending the same message. Stop wasting enormous amounts of time on short-term pleasure, such as TV and video games or whatever else you might be investing your time in, and invest some of that time into the items that you know are not fun, but you also know will make you stronger, smarter, and an overall better individual tomorrow. And I have good news. Anyone, anywhere, can start today to build themselves a better tomorrow. We all get the same 24 hours a day. We all have similar struggles. And I promise you that no matter what you're going through, someone, somewhere has navigated it before you and come out a conqueror in the end. And we all put our pants on the same way, meaning you can do anything you have seen others accomplish and more if you believe in yourself and your mission. That being said, even though we know we should turn off the telly and do some push-ups, eat a salad, pull out that technical book, on average, we typically don't, or we simply won't. This is because sometimes the easiest and most simple things can be the hardest for us. After all, the surefire way to lose weight is to eat less and exercise more. Yet, the world is not full of fitness models. There's additional truth in the saying that it is easy to not do the easy things. It is easy and simple to eat less and exercise more, yet it is easy and simple to eat more and exercise less. The differentiating factor is your goals, your grit, and your discipline. Through the trials of self-improvement, the turbulence that is called life will inevitably knock you to the ground. It is your willpower, your grit, and your disciplined efforts that will give you the strength to get up, chin up, and keep moving forward. All this in mind, take a moment at some point today and reflect on the areas in your life that you know you would benefit from in the future if you were more disciplined today. I personally am a big fan of some of Jordan Peterson's approaches to self-improvement. He places emphasis on being proactive to improve one's being or existence. In one analogy, he says, quote, "If you have to fight a dragon, you should go to its lair before it comes to your village," unquote. The dragon can represent a multitude of struggles in your life. Tobacco is a dragon. Alcohol may be a dragon. TV can be an underestimated dragon. And it is best to send the cavalry, aka discipline, to finish off the dragon, aka vices, before they raise the village, aka self. One of my past vices was utilizing the snooze option far too many times in the morning. As such, it was a struggle to develop a morning ritual. It took some serious grit to get my morning routine in place. However, the feeling of victory that follows the morning routine is very powerful. Struggle to snap into focus at 4 a.m. Cold water really helps. The struggle to conquer the morning jog. The struggle to read an hour while cycling around the elliptical, while taking notes in the margin for future revisiting, wrapping up with a meditation, and cleaning up before starting the workday in the office. It took grit to develop the discipline of a morning routine and steady discipline to hold it once established as a habit. The route of establishing discipline is not easy by any means, and the path is often empty and no one is around to push you forward other than yourself. If you find the inner strength to push onward through discipline, I guarantee your future self will have limitless gratitude for what and for who the discipline makes of you. I've read a handful of books around the ideas of grit and discipline, and some of my favorite thought leaders with great ideas to improve, among many other things, your morning productivity, are Mel Robbins and the 5-Second Rule, Jocko Willink and Extreme Ownership, Tony Robbins and his priming method, Charles Duhigg and the Power of Habit, James Clear and Atomic Habits, and David Goggins in the book Can't Hurt Me. I'll share some of their works in the podcast description. Who did it best? Grit and discipline with Elon Musk. Elon is a pretty significant name around the globe in regard to the success he has achieved and is working to achieve between SpaceX and Tesla and his other business startups. Elon has mentioned numerous times that he regularly invests 80 to 100 plus hour weeks into his role in building his companies. Laser-like focus, he has decided what and who he wanted to make of himself and committed all the time and resources he had available to manifest his vision. According to an interview, Musk blames his success on his ability to make sacrifices and exercise discipline, which he believes allows ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Reverting back to the notion that we all start our journey with the same 24 hours a day, no knowledge of this world, the knowing that we can accomplish anything anyone has done before us, I hope you'll take that knowing as a challenge to put the extra in extraordinary. Let's jump into the episode recap. Grit is necessary to develop a discipline. A discipline is a self-value adding habit. Like the tip of an iceberg, what you see externally is usually only a small portion of the colossal depth that is not within the immediate view. Don't waste your time envious of other successes. If you buckle down and work on yourself, success will follow. There is ample time in the day, and we each have to choose and have the choice to freely utilize that time as we wish. Successful individuals do the things that unsuccessful people prefer not to. Not because the successful people enjoy doing them, but rather because they know the rewards that will come from their sacrifice. Short-term pleasure equals long-term pain, but short-term pain equals long-term pleasure. All things and struggles you encounter are common to all experiencing this life alongside you. Choose to conquer those struggles, not succumb to them. Take up war with the dragons in your life. Fight to eliminate the vices, and live strong. As Elon Musk states, it is your choice to be disciplined. You can choose to be ordinary or extraordinary. I sincerely hope you'll check back next week for a discussion on the importance of rest, relaxation, and recharging so you can charge into success. This is Jake, signing off. And remember, when things are looking down, you always have the choice to stay up.